بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم. اليوم محاضرتنا راح يكون عنوانها provisional restoration or temporary restoration. طبعا المحاضرة هي سلسلة من محاضرات الكراون بريدج وتكملة للمحاضرات السابقة. What we mean by provisional restoration, it is any restoration, whether a crown or bridge, that is used in fixed prosthodontic during the interim between tooth preparation and final placement of the definitive crown or bridge restoration. Some textbook of a crown bridge nowadays they use the term interim restoration instead of provisional restoration. Okay, they use long short period interim restoration or long period interim restoration according to the case. As we see in this picture, we have this crown and bridge, which is as a provisional or interim restoration. Why we do provisional restoration? As we know, after cutting procedure, we are going to do our provisional restoration until the definitive restoration. This we are do it to protect the prepared tooth and keep the patient comfortable. Important thing that by successful treatment with the provisional restoration, dentists can get the patient confidence, which is an influencing factor for success in the final restoration. Confidence of patient is very important. And after cutting procedure, if you leave the patient without provisional restoration, وهذا لما يرجع راح يصير عنده pain, sensitive teeth، رأسا راح يقول هذا الطبيب سوى بسنوني، فيفقد الثقة بطبيبه مباشرة. فلذلك عملية استخدام provisional restoration is very important to get the confidence of the patient. Ideal requirement of provisional restoration: adequate strength and wear resistance, biocompatible, good dimensional stability, easy to contour and polish, odorless and non-irritating, chemically compatible with the luting cement, aesthetically acceptable, adequate working and sitting time, easy to repair. Requirement of optimum provisional restoration: we can divide the basic requirement into three main groups: biological, mechanical and aesthetic. بنشوفها هي نفسها الكلمات هذه أخذناها يمكن أخذتوها الطلاب بالprinciple of tooth preparation، هي mechanical وbiological وaesthetic. You have to have all these three requirements in your final and in the provisional or in the interim restoration. Biological, what we mean by biological, anything related to the pulp and periodontal tissue. You should preserve this tissue during this time until the definitive restoration is complete. So you have to protect the pulp from any stimuli, whether a chemical or thermal stimuli. You preserve the periodontal health Also, you preserve the position of the tooth, that is positional stability, and prevention of any fracture. The mechanical involve function, loss of retention, removal of reuse. طبعا فالشي مهم بالtemporary that we should, or provisional restoration, that this restoration, after you cement it after 1 week, for example, when you want to remove it, it's easy remove. And when you remove it, it is not should not be fractured easily. That is, you can reuse this temporary if you need. So that provisional restoration should have the ability to be reused again after removal after you remove it from the tooth to which it's cement. Aesthetic, we have color stability. The temporary should have a color stability, translucency, and should have color compatibility. Provisional restoration might be classified, and we have different classification according to fabrication. We have a preformed and custom made. According to material use, we have resin, preformed polycarbonate or celluloid acetate, custom made acrylic, base acrylic composite. Metal, we have preformed aluminum and custom made cast metal alloy. According to the duration of use, we have short term and long term. According to the technique of fabrication, we have direct and indirect technique. Type of provisional restoration, we have preformed or prefabricated temporary crowns, customized temporary restoration, chairside temporary restoration. Thirdly, we have laboratory made temporary restoration, and for CAD/CAM provisional restoration. طبعا احنا راح نتكلم في شيء قليل على التمبرري كراون اللي احنا هذيك اغلبها ماخذيها بصف ثالث. راح نركز على how you made a temporary or interim bridge. طبعا generally a preformed temporary crown is consists of a shell of plastic or metal or plastic. Okay, this is a metal shell of metal or plastic that could be cemented directly on prepared tooth following adjustment, or after it is lining with a resin material. They could be used for single or multiple preparation. And we have different type of temporary crown. We have metal temporary crown, we have plastic, and we have celluloid crown. Celluloid crown is used as a mold to construct a temporary crown. So all of these type are a shell of material that can to use to after adjustment cemented to the prepared tooth. Sometimes we need to improve the fitness of this temporary crown. It is not fit well. What we are going to do, we are going to reline this temporary crown with acrylic resin. Acrylic resin, okay, مثل ما نشوف لنا باي الصورة temporary crown. It does not fit well on the prepared tooth. What we are going to do is a procedure of relining of this tooth with acrylic resin, either directly on the prepared tooth or indirectly on the cast of the prepared on the die of the prepared tooth. طبعا طريقة مثل ما نستعمل السيلويد كراون. Okay, مثل ما نشوف we fill it, then we seat it over the prepared tooth. قبل ما يصير sitting complete sitting we remove it and we remove any excess, then النتيجة راح تعطينا well fitted temporary crown. Custom made crown on the bridge. What we mean custom made temporary crown on the bridge, that you made it. المهم في هذه الطريقة customized temporary crown, we need a construction of construction of mold of the patient teeth before their preparation. These might be obtained using different material. طبعا this mold ممكن يعني عمليا نطلع قالب لأسنان المريض قبل التحضير then بمواد مختلفة. ممكن نستعمل elastic compression material, okay, elastic compression material, or any other type of thermoplastic material. Okay, this material we use it to make a mold for the tooth of the patient before preparation. Then this impression we are going to fill with acrylic resin or composite, and then we place it directly or indirectly on the prepared tooth or teeth of the patient. So what we have mold. We create mold whether we have different material. في السلايدز الجاية راح نشوف شنو هاي different material. اوكي سو المولد بس احنا هنا بدنا نشوفكم شنو هو المولد. هذا مولد او impression material we do by impression material. اوكي indication of customized temporary crown. الcustomized temporary crown نستعملها when we mean do coverage of multiple individual crown preparation. يعني مثلا احنا هنا كيس عندنا هاي الكيس هنا we have full arch restoration. فما من معقول نجي كل سنة نجي نسوي له temporary crown، نجي نسوي له fitting ونقعده سواء ألمنيوم أو أكريليك اللي هو بري فابريكيت. شقد تاخذ تايم هذه الأسنان كلها. فلذلك أفضل طريقة هي شو نسوي؟ الكوستمايز temporary crown restoration. The second indication is coverage of single preparation, which is usually large and have special design that preformed temporary crown is not fit to the tooth. The third thing, abutment preparation for fixed partial denture to construct temporary bridge. Temporary bridge طبعا ما عندنا prefabricated temporary bridge or preformed temporary bridge. You have to make it. So this technique can be used to fabricate temporary bridge. The materials in construction of provisional restoration, either resin or metal. The resin we have acrylic, and we have polymethyl methacrylate or polyethyl methacrylate, and we have the acrylic composite, which is either chemically activate, light activate, or dull activate. In metal we have cast metal alloy. طبعا هنا عندنا الأكريليك الميثايكريليت لما نجي نقارنه مع بعض هو أفضلهم من ناحية السترينث، لكن شنو مشكلته بالإريتيشن ثيرمال and chemical irritation to the teeth. البولي إيثايل ميثاكريليت أقل إريتيشن لكن سترينث مالته مو بقوة البولي ميثاكريليت. الكومبوزيت طبعا أيضا السترينث والديورابيلتي مو مثل الأكريليك، لكن هو ما بي أي irritation سواء ثيرمال أو كيميكال مثل مقارنة بالأكريليك. Selection of provisional restoration depends on several factors. Depends on the location of the tooth, whether location anterior, posterior, period of the time you are going to leave it, and on the biting force. الbiting force قوتها، يعني نوع temporary interim restoration you are going to use. هذه 3 factor لازم تخليها ببالك لما تستخدم لما تيجي تسوي selection لأي نوع تستعمل من الأنواع أو material that you should select to do or fabricate interim restoration. Technique for customized restoration. According to the type of material used for mold matrix، احنا نحتاج بالfabrication of temporary مثل ما قلنا نحتاج mold or matrix construction. According to the material that you are going to use, we have 4 techniques. We have over impression method, template method, polycarbonate matrix method, and acrylic shell method. مثل ما نشوف اسمها تبعا للماتيريال you are going to use. Technique of fabrication, we have direct technique, indirect technique, and indirect technique. طبعا direct أو indirect يعتمد شو either you are going to use it or fabricate it directly inside the patient mouth or indirectly outside the patient of the mouth on the cast. طبعا directly بصورة عامة أفضل، بس شنو تأخذ time chair time تاخذ طويل، ف you cannot save your chair time. بعدين ممكن تسوي لنا فد uncomfortable to the patient لأن تطول الجلسة، مو مثل الاندايركت اللي راح تسويها outside the patient mouth و you save the clinic time، وأيضا تقلل الستريس اللي على المريض بصورة عامة. direct و indirect جزء منها on the cast وجزء آخر on the patient mouth. Matrix for professional مثل ما قلنا we have impression. Mostly the material we use it in our clinic, we have the impression whether alginate or elastomer. طبعا الالجينيت absorb الادفانتج مالته absorb resin exothermic يقلل الحرارة تاع التوث. الإلاستومر is reusable, can be reused again. الادفانتج it is simple, quick, inexpensive. بصورة عامة الامبريشن. vacuum form thermoplastic هذه بالكاست هذا thermoplastic material مثل الماتيريال اللي تجيكم بالسيلويد كراون. اوكي تجينا على شكل شيت بعدين بنشوفها. This is a clear vinyl sheet on stone duplicate of wax up used only in presence of number of adjacent tooth. يعني لازم عندك number of adjacent tooth حتى تستعملها حتى تصير as a stopper for making the يعني adjacent tooth to the prepared, and could be used with a light cure resin. طبعا الفرق الأساسي بين هذول الاثنين you can see what's going to happen inside. بالimpression you cannot see anything. يعني impression material, opaque material, you cannot see what's going inside, while here it is transparent material, translucent material, you can see what's going transparent. You will see you can happen inside during your filling with acrylic or composite, and when you sit inside the patient mouth, you see what's going to happen. And thirdly, you have a preparatory سيلويد كراون فوم. سيلويد كراون فوم أغلبكم شايفين. طبعا راح نشرح لكم طريقة الامبريشن اللي هي الاوفر امبريشن اللي ممكن كل واحد يستعملها بالعيادة، شلون نسوي temporary bridge أو كراون خلال استعمال الامبريشن. طبعا الامبريشن ممكن تستعمل الجينيت، ممكن تستعمل مثل ما قلنا الرابر امبريشن ماتيريال سيليكون. فشو نسوي احنا؟ لو فرضنا عندنا بريدج، مريض جاك يسوي بريدج، قبل ما نبدي له preparation طبعا temporary should be ready before you start preparation. So before your preparation احنا نريد نسوي لهذا المريض بريدج. فشو نسوي بيج حالة؟ نجيب denture teeth، نجيب denture teeth, and this denture teeth we stick it to the area of the missing tooth. يعني ممكن نستعمل واكس، ستيكي واكس، ونثبتها بالمكان الخاص به. We check occlusion, everything okay. Then what we do, we create impression alginate with alginate. هذا impression والalginate أخذناها. Then after the impression is set, we remove it from the patient mouth. After we remove it from the patient mouth, we lift it on the bench. نخليها on the side. هذا نسميها الأوفر impression. نرجع نحدد المريض. شو نسوي؟ We remove the denture tooth and we start our preparation بالordinary manner. After you finish your preparation, return back to the over impression. Fill it. طبعا احنا شلنا الأسنان، السن اللي طلع لنا هذا شلناه، اوكي. السن اللي ثبتناه مع الأسنان. فايش راح يصير؟ عندنا صار عندنا مولد للأسنان unprepared teeth، مولد unprepared teeth مع شنو؟ الدنتشر tooth. So we fill it with acrylic, reseat or composite. We reseat inside the patient mouth. لازم تتأكد إنه قاعد. طبعا مثل ما نشوف هنا احنا ما راح نشوف بالداخل ايش راح يصير. Then after sitting on the material, you move it. You separate the bridge from the impression. سوي له adjustment and retain. سوي له adjustment وتقعده بحق المريض. هذه شو نسويها؟ direct custom made temporary crown or bridge. وهذا حتى شو اسمه فد فيلم سريع تشوفون شلون نسوي temporary bridge.
Crowns, bridges, inlays, onlays, and veneers. The first step in making a provisional with ProTemp Plus involves taking the impression of the intact teeth to serve as a matrix for fabricating the temporary.
So this is a matrix, impression alginate matrix.
Teeth have been prepared, the fabrication of the temporary.
So we do preparation.
Place a new mixing tip.
طبعا هنا نستعمل composite خاص اللي هو
sized amount of paste to ensure proper mixing.
for temporary
Next,
restoration, we fill the matrix.
Relevant spaces from the bottom up. The completion of this step should occur at around the 40-second mark from the onset of mixing. Reposition the matrix in the mouth. ProTemp Plus attains a hard, elastic consistency within 1 minute and 40 seconds from the onset of mixing. The material can be removed from the mouth at any point between 1 minute and 40 seconds and 2 minutes and 50 seconds from the onset of mixing. It is important not to remove the material before this point. The complete curing time for ProTemp Plus is 5 minutes from the onset of mixing. For optimal polishing performance, the material should remain in the matrix until completely cured.
Okay.
Upon removing from the matrix, excess material can be removed to refine the margins of the temporary. After the 5-minute curing period, the oxygen-inhibited layer should be completely removed from the temporary restoration using an alcohol wipe. temporary restoration can now be cemented in place using a temporary cement.
اوكي، هذا هي الدايركت تكنيك اللي عمليا سويناها خلصت. شفتوها very easy technique. Now indirect compression method. indirect شو نسوي؟ هاي العملية كلها سويناها مع المريض نجي نسويها بالكاست. يجينا كاست ستدي موديل، اكو الميسنج اريا، هذه هي الميسنج اريا. شو نسوي؟ نشيب دنشر توث، سمينا اكريل دنشر توث، نثبته بمكان الميسنج اريا البونتيك. بعدين نجي ناخذ امبريشن قلنا ممكن ناخذ الجينيت سايد سكشنال امبريشن كافيه طبعا للسايد تستعمله، ممكن بس سكشن امبريشن لازم نفولد adjacent teeth. وبعدين after sitting you remove the impression. ترجع للكاس تسوي تشيل الدنشر توث وتسوي preparation على الكاس نفسه، نفس الكاس you are going to do preparation عليه. زين، بعد ما تكمل preparation على الكاس ايش راح يصير عندنا؟ راح يصير عندنا الاريا اوف ماتريكس اللي هي بيها البونتيك وبيها unprepared teeth، صار اكو سبيس. هذا السبيس راح you fill it with acrylic then you will seat it on the cast، راح يصير عندنا بريدج. اوكي، so بالمختبر انت on the side bench side حضرت temporary bridge ready when the patient come you can prepare tooth and you prepare the tooth and use this temporary crown or bridge. وهذا ايضا نشوفكم الفيلم مالته شلون بالتمبراري. طبعا هنا الاستيك امبريشن ماتيريال مستعمل مثل قبل شوي شفناها الجينيت. الهيفي بادي يسوي له ميكسينج، شوف الميكسينج مال الهيفي بادي شلون يصير. طبعا انا نقدر يعني من اوت تري نستعمله من الاوتسايد الستري، ممكن تستعمل التري ايضا. افتر سيتنج شلناها. طبعا احنا مخلين من بداية اسنان الدنشر اريا المسنج، بعدين remove التوث الموجود و prepare the tooth بنشوف بالكاست. اوكي، بنشوف بالكاست prepare tooth teeth prepare and we remove the temporary crown then we fill it with الأكريليك. طبعا هنا على الأكريليك 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 مع الكومبوزيت. طبعا هنا بيجي حالات ما تقدر تستعمل إلا كيميكال كيور كومبوزيت، ما تقدر تستعمل لايت كيور لأن ماكو منفذ لللايت، فنستعمل الكيميكال كيور أكريليك ريزن acrylic also chemical cure composite. Sorry. طبعا مضطر امشي لان حتى الوقت عندنا ما ينفع، وبعد بعد ما اسوي له امور اوف اكسس يتم يصير مضبوط ويعطي الى الدنتست بالعياده يستعمله. اوكي، تشيك الكلوجن مضبوط، تشيك الكلوجن مضبوط يطلع. اوكي، indirect technique بيجي حالش عندنا خطوتين، خطوة نستعملها على الكاست وخطوة أخرى نستعملها وين؟ inside the patient mouth. مثل ما نشوف هنا البيشنت عندنا missing area نريد نسوي له بريدج، البريدج نريد نسوي له من ال7 إلى السنترال. فش راح نسوي؟ سوي أول شيء ممكن denture teeth or waxing نملي pontic area. then we take مثل ما نشوف هذا البونتيك وهذا البونتيك وهذا البونتيك، ناخذ impression. اوكي، نشيل الامبريشن، نجي نسوي preparation على الكاست. اوكي، هذا التوث after preparation نخليه separating medium. اوكي، then we fill the matrix اللي هو impression بالاكريليك. then we reseat it this over impression على الكاست. طبعا هذا الالاستيك باند نستعمله حتى نثبت الكاست خلال فترة setting of acrylic، لأن الأكريليك shrink during أكو dimensional change يصير بيه، فلذلك حتى ما يتغير كثيرا يبقى ثابت الكاست مع الامبريشن فورس ثابتة من خلال هذا الالاستيك باند. بعد ما يصير setting we remove separate the impression from the cast، راح يطلع لنا هذا البريدج. اوكي، نروح نحلق المريض. طبعا بحلق المريض شو يحتاج؟ سوينا preparation، البريباريشن مالتنا راح تصير طبعا مو نفس البريباريشن اللي على الكاست تختلف، فحتى نسوي فيتنج مضبوط راح نسوي عملية relining المن للبريدج اللي صنعناه على الكاست. we fill it with acrylic and we reseat it after ما نخلي separating medium على التيث. طبعا ممكن نخلي water أو السالفة نفس الووتر as a separating medium أو vaseline and we reseat it on the prepared teeth. prior to complete it we remove it and نسوي له adjustment. صار عندنا bridge مثل ما نشوف. فالعملية شنو هنا؟ صار عندنا مرحلة inside the patient mouth نسوي له relining to make it more fit، فصارت part of the procedure outside the patient mouth and part inside the patient mouth. اوكي، وهذا همينه راح نشوفه كيف يصير. سوري، هذا فيلم نشوفكم شلون العملية راح تصير.
Provisional restorations for full crowns on posterior teeth. Prior to the appointment, the assistant fabricates a matrix from polyvinyl siloxane. She lubricates the model with Vaseline prior to placement of the body polyvinyl siloxane. For full crowns, this is fabricated on a study model or a waxed up model. She then wets the model and squirts washed polyvinyl siloxane into the previously made polyvinyl siloxane body matrix and places that on the lubricated study model. Allows it to set for about 5 or 10 minutes and then trims the excess. Bisacrylate is squirted into the matrix. Now it's very important that you keep the tip of the bisacrylate in the material. If you take the tip out of the bisacrylate material, you'll create an air bubble. Then you wet the prepared teeth and squirt the bisacrylate around the teeth, and do this quickly. If there are any composites on the teeth, as in this case there's an occlusal composite on the second molar, be sure you place Vaseline on the composite or the bisacrylate will stick to the composite. Then place the matrix into which you've already squirted bisacrylate. Now all this is done within about 15-30 seconds, and you can see these are deadly accurate margins. The thing that makes this so accurate is it's just like the custom tray with polyether impression. This matrix forces that unset bisacrylate up into the sulcus and captures that tooth preparation margin very crisply and very accurately. Wiping the teeth with Tublicid Red cord placement, then impression taking with polyether with custom tray, taking occlusal registration record, now marking the interproximal contact of the bisacrylate provisionals, and then trimming them with an acrylic burr. It's very easy to see the margins with this technique. The thing you'll really like about the bisacrylate provisionals versus conventional acrylic provisionals is the bisacrylate doesn't heat and it doesn't shrink. Then just very slight internal adjustment, just remove any sharp angles or anything that might prevent the provisionals from seating. Wonderful fit. If you need to add any bisacrylate to some small void, you can do that with flowable composite. I'm going to cure the added flowable composite for 20 seconds. Check the occlusion, adjust the occlusion with an occlusal reduction burr, polish, and I'm just refining the added flowable composite. There might be any sensitivity. You can use Super Seal, or just a good cleaner is Tublicid Red. Tublicid Red is a good cleaner desensitizer. I'm going to place Vaseline all over the provisionals. I don't care if some of the Vaseline gets into the inner part of the provisional. Then place your temporary cement and just place that around the edges. Don't fill the preparations up. I'm going to let the teeth be damp. I don't particularly want them to be completely dry. Push to place. Wait till the provisional cement has initial set so it peels off. That way you don't have a void in the microgap between the tooth and the provisional. If you remove the provisional cement in the unset phase, you'll have a little suck back in that microgap and you might have sensitivity. So I'm using the back end of a scaler, then flossing, and then this is just a wet cotton ball. Fast, easy, and accurate bisacrylate provisional.
Okay, this is we finish how to make a temporary from using the impression. Now we have the template technique. What we need in template technique, we need a stone model of both arch are used prior to mouth preparation. Construction with the aid of thermal vacuum. We need thermal vacuum machine that adapt a plastic sheet over the entire stone. This is the plastic sheet. A plastic sheet is trimmed around the teeth to prepare. So what we need with plastic sheet وthermal vacuum machine, ونحتاج الكاست مال شنو unprepared teeth. هاي template method. طبعا احنا بعد شوي نشوف شلون سوينا التمبلت او matrix. This is the matrix or polyethylene sheet. Okay, سوينا reconstruction. طبعا لازم شنو involve the adjacent unprepared teeth. طبعا هذا التمبلت سويناه قبل ما نسوي preparation. مثل ما نشوف قبل ما نسوي preparation للأسنان. حلق المريض رجعنا سوينا preparation خلصنا. We check this template. طبعا as we say نستعمل لازم يغطي الأسنان adjacent للprepare حتى تستخدم as a stopper تمنع overseating of شنو template on the prepared teeth. Okay, then separating medium, we fill the teeth or matrix with composite or acrylic. هنا طبعا نقدر نستعمل لايت كيور composite لأنه شنو المادة شفافة واللايت can pass through it. So هنا استعملنا طبعا لايت كيور composite. We seat it, remove any excess, then we cure it with the light. Okay, then after we remove مثل ما نشوف هذا هو, remove it from the patient mouth, separate the plastic sheet from the temporary crown bridge, remove the excess, reseat inside the patient mouth. وهذا أيضا حتى نشوفكم حتى لا تفهموها فيلم نشوف شلون يصير عملية التمبلت مثل.
In the edgeless space on the cast. Ensure that the occlusal level and buccolingual alignment.
طبعا أول ما نخليه مثل ما نشوف هذا inside الكاست missing bridge نسويه فخلينا الدنشر توث بالاريا اوف missing. هذا الفاكيوم ماشين خلي الشيت بلاستيك شيت. اوكي ثبته. طبعا هذا عندنا هيت و اير يسوي فاكيوم اير. هيت يذوب لنا الشيت هذا الفوق راح يعطينا مصدر مال حراره يذوب الشيت الى ان يذوب الشيت مثل ما نشوف هسه راح تنزل. شوف هذا ذوبناها. Then you press the sheet with vacuum air on the مثل ما نشوف هذا الشيت
The
ذابت
heated sheet is then lowered
وهذا هو
and the air
صارت
suction
عملية
is turned
شنو؟
on to enable
صار
adaptation of the
تمبلت.
sheet on the cast.
هذا تمبلت نفصله عن الأسنان عن الكاست ونقصه للحجم اللي نحتاج نستعمله.
Now
Okay,
remove the cast and the mold from the machine.
so
Ensure that the machine is turned off and all components are returned to a safe position. Once the mold
طبعا
is
شو
cooled down,
المادة
it is removed from the
مثل
cast.
الربر لاستيك. So remove it and we cut the excess. شيل كله نبقي الاريا of adjacent teeth مع prepared teeth. شوف من نقصه هذاك السايد
The
الليفت
excess is
سايد
then
هو
cut for the
نحتاجه
quadrant required.
فقط. شيل كل الأجزاء حتى يصير عملية السيتنج سهلة inside over the cast أو inside the patient mouth.
Any irregular edges are rounded off.
So we unseat it, try it on the cast.
The abutment teeth on the cast are then
نرجع
trimmed
شلنا
using the most
الدنتشر
speedy
توث
handpiece and
و
then
start
gone.
preparation of the
This
teeth.
provides
طبعا
a
اريد
smooth
امشي
tissue
سريع
surface
لانه
form.
عندنا بعض السلايدات حتى الوقت يكفي. So we start preparation of the teeth. Okay, start preparation عملية. Okay, بعد ما كمل preparation سوينا separating medium. We place separating medium. Okay, and then separating medium on the مو بس على التيث على كل الاريا اللي راح يصير بيها contact مع الماتيريال that you are going to use inside the matrix.
Polymethyl methacrylate
طبعا هنا
is used in
acrylic
a label.
poly methyl
It is
acrylate.
recommended to use 12 drops per tooth being fabricated.
تركه طبعا هنا يمر مثل ما تعرفون دوز ستيج ستيكي ستيج وان دوز ستيج. بالدوز ستيج نستعمله يعني بعده ستيكي.
Do not remove the material in the stringy stage as it may result in voids and is messy to work with.
هسه راح نشيل هذا بعد ما وصل للدو ستيج و we fill it.
When the material has reached
Fill
the early
them.
dough stage,
دو
it
ستيج
is
يعني
removed
قريب
from the
من
Dayton dish, molded by fingers to ensure homogeneity,
طبعا
and packed in the thermoplastic mold.
طبعا الستيكي ستيج اذا استعملنا راح يسوي فويد هواي بالماتيريال لكن بالدو ستيج افضل. طبعا هنا راح تخليه على الاريا of the prepared teeth والmissing tooth. Okay, then we seat it over.
Material extending into the adjacent teeth spaces is removed.
طبعا adjacent
The
حتى ما يصير
thermoplastic mold
interfering
with
with seating
PMMA
مثل ما نشوف.
is then inverted
ما
onto the
نقعد.
prepared cast and
طبعا as we
adapted
said
firmly to it.
لازم ندخل
This
الأسنان
helps to conform the material between the mold
جنب
and the
البريبير
prepared teeth
حتى
to
تستعمل
form
as
the
a
provisional.
stopper. After sitting هذا هو. Now we remove it from the
The excess is cut away
area.
carefully. Note that you should remove material from the
Okay.
gingival embrasure area
قبل
as well as the material that has
ما يصير
flowed over
complete
the
set
occlusal
حتى نقدر
surfaces of
نشيل
the adjacent teeth.
الماتيريال.
This will provide less chances of increasing the vertical height of the provisional, leading to the need of extensive occlusal adjustments intraorally. thermoplastic mold is placed over the
So
acrylic again
removal
and
of
adapted
excess
to
and
ensure proper adaptation of the
reseat
material
the
onto the cast, which may have
template
pulled
over.
away while
حتى ما
removing
يصير
the
بيه
excess.
شنو change بالاوكلوجن، يبقى الضغط عليه. هذا هو بعد ما كمل بعدين we separated, trim it. Okay.
After the material has set, it is removed from the cast and
all
examined
these
for
excess should be
overextensions
removed
and
حتى
excesses in material.
ونسوي له clean and
Identifying the finish
polishing.
line extension is important so as to remove any overextensions that may injure the oral mucosa. The outer limit of the finish line is marked with a pencil, and anything external to it should be removed. While trimming off the excess, some precautions must be followed. Do not hold the provisional in a manner that you cannot visualize the finish line. This may result in inaccurate trimming of the finish line thickness. Do not hold the burr perpendicular to the long axis of the provisional. This would result in a discrepancy at the finish line area. Do not trim off the axial contour of the provisional while adjusting the thickness of the finish line. Holding the burr at a mild angle enables visibility of the finish line while avoiding reduction of the axial contours of the provisional. Trimming of the gingival embrasures can be done with thinner diameter acrylic trimming burrs. The same can apply for the interdental caul area of the provisional. Proximal excesses can be removed using a large acrylic trimmer to avoid scratches being formed. We shall now move on to the direct procedures that will be carried out on the prepared teeth. It will be
رجعنا
seen
حلق
that the
المريض.
provisional obtained from the laboratory will not seat accurately on the tooth preparations and may result in open margins and inability to close the
سوي
mouth.
له adjustment حتى seat perfectly.
Thinning out of the inner walls of the retainers and removal of the internal occlusal grooves will help in a better seating of the provisional and a more complete closure of the mouth.
طبعا هنا تاي ريلايننج
As the
حتى يصير
provisional
فيتنج
will still
مضبوط،
rock
يعني
on
احنا سوينا
preparation,
البريبريشن
it
على
will require
الكاست،
relining.
مو
Vaseline
نفس
is applied on
البريبريشن
the
اللي
prepared
هي بحلق
abutments, but
المريض.
also on the proximal surfaces of
فنسوي
the
له الان
adjacent.
ريلايننج، نخليه سبرينج ميديوم على الاسنان بحلق المريض، ونيجي نسوي له fill it with acrylic and reseat inside the patient mouth حتى
Blow
يسوي
away
له
any
more
excess using
fitness.
an air syringe. PMMA is carefully loaded in the retainers and the provisional is placed on the prepared abutments and pressed down firmly till final seating position, followed by occluding the teeth. Keeping the teeth occluded, the excess is gently removed using a curved explorer. Ensure removal of the excess in the interdental areas to avoid locking of the provisional against the adjacent teeth. The provisional is partially removed and placed back in a to and fro motion to ensure that the acrylic does not lock in any undercuts during its setting. Occlusal interferences are checked by using an articulating paper held between the maxillary and mandibular teeth. The teeth are occluded in maximum intercuspation. After removal of the interferences, the prosthesis is occluded. Check for marginal integrity of both the retainers. Check for intact occlusion between the adjacent unprepared teeth. The prosthesis is then finished and polished. This procedure will be covered in detail in a separate tutorial. Correction of any discrepancies can be done using the paint-on technique. Care must be taken not to apply too much material that may spread over the oral mucosa and irritate it.
Iron deficiency أيضا نضاف لها حتى ما تبقى الاريا هذه
The excess is
without
removed and the
coverage.
provisional is then finished and polished.
Okay. Advantage of عرفنا شنو indirect technique. Advantage of direct, indirect over the direct, no direct contact of the three. monomer either بنستعمل acrylic of the acrylic with the prepared tooth or gingival tissue which might cause gingival irritation or allergic reaction. The indirect method avoids subjecting the prepared tooth or teeth to heat both polymerization of acrylic resin. طبعا الأكريليك polymerization reaction is exothermic فالheat is indirect يعني على الكاسب so you avoid any thermal injury to the teeth. The indirect method save the clinician chair time. طبعا عندنا laboratory temporary restoration that you send the cast to the lab وبعد ما تسوي impression diagnostic cast تخليه بالمختبر يسوي لك بريدج او على الكاست ويجهز لك قبل ما تسوي البريبريشن. هذا طبعا يسند باللاب يعني ما عندك لك علاقة بالعمل مالته. طبعا التمبراري crown في شيبي temporary لما نسوي temporary as you know there is no coronal structure فلما we have no coronal structure أو little tooth structure supragingivally so there is no support for temporary crown. So in such a case what we do, we need the canal to be used to apply intra-canal retentive mean. We extend a special dowel wire inside the canal and we use any technique can be used نستعملها بس نحتاج قبل ما نسوي تكنيك نستعمل حتى لو الواير اوف اورثو شوي جيج قوي او عندنا any sort of wire we insert it inside the canal then we do our temporary. وهذا ايضا راح نسوي لكم فيلم شلون نسوي temporary البوست طبعا انا شوي ماشي سريع. هذا دايركت طبعا دايركت طبعا هذا فنسوي اول شيء هذا الجسم راح يسوي واكسينج يرجع السن طبيعي بالواكس مثل ما نشوف. اوكي هذا بوست كراون كاناين راح نسوي شنو اول ما يسوي يعني وقت عندنا الفيلم صعب نزوده باليوتيوب لكم لذلك راح نستعجل على الخطوة مثل ما نشوف الى ان يسوي لنا سوالنا شنو سوري هنا شوف الان سوالنا كاناين رجعه شكله مثل ما بالواقع راح ياخذ له شنو impression.
Gives us the form for our new provisional. So you can see that's the one that I did already. And then what we're going to do is
فهذا نسوي جاهزة فأخذ impression بعد ما سوى واكسينج شيك الأوفر impression مثل ما نشوف راح نشيكه. أوكي مضبوطة. أوكي
and there's your handy dandy provisional restoration. Let me just fill this up. What's up, baby?
بس نشوف شلون نخليه. شوف هذا الداول wires we seat it inside the canal prepare canal.
Choose a provisional or temporary endodontic post. Place it into the tooth.
The wax.
Let's take a little piece of wax.
Okay.
Because this one's identiform too, so there is no shape whatsoever to the canal. Place it right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fill this with our acrylic material.
شوف الآن you fill it with the material. and reseal the over impression على الدنتال arch. في each حالة صار الواير incorporated with the crown.
Some Vaseline. And it's important to remember which teeth we're going on to. Find that if you get the patient to occlude, when you do your triple tray, your occlusion is much better. I think that's perhaps, I'm sure there's some literature I could find based on movement of the PDL, impression of the PDL into the socket. So let's just check to see if this is curing.
We leave it in a nice set, then we separate it from the, remove it from the patient mouth. Another crown is ready. طبعا رغم انه راح نشيل الاكسس تقدر تسوي له removal.
I mean, it's going to need to be, let's just
راح نشوف
it's still in that easily moldable state. It's fully set.
each حالة طبعا صار الواير inside the crown. راح يفيدنا بيش support and retain the coronal portion of the restoration.
Not tear apart. Not get blocked in under the undercuts. It's just bubbles.
شوفها مع البين اسوي لها adjustment. Okay, so now we have a temporary
You
post
also have
crown.
a continued stent. Let me just
Okay,
adjust the contours here. In this situation, definitely, we're going to cement this down together.
سوي له
That's what
cementation.
you prefer to have definitely more of
بعد ما اسوي له after adjustment.
pretend
Okay,
situation. Just for demonstration. But it gives you the idea of the things you can do just with wax. So I hope that helps. Next, we're going to be talking about now extruding this tooth.
now we have CAD/CAM provisional restoration. طبعا material most for the fabrication of provisional CAD/CAM temporary of interim restoration is البوليميثال ميثاكريليت. طبعا هي تجي الآن على شكل بلوك يعني polymerized acrylic، وهذا من محاسنها انه معناها there is no any dimensional change. بحال الاكريليك راح يصير اقوى، ماكو اي rotation للتيوث اي شيء، يجي على شكل بلوك and you mill it inside the CAD/CAM machine. في ذاك restoration it is are semi-translucent, have a natural looking, highly aesthetic, extremely durable and can provide acceptable hardness and a flexure strength. Strength مالته better than that is do by ordinary method. طبعا شلون نسوي الاكسترنال سيرفيس ديتيل؟ وي هاف طبعا افتر بريبريشن يو هاف ديتيل يحتاج تنقلها لمن للكاد/كام ميل ماشين مثل ما حكينا قبل، وعندنا الاكسترنال ديتيل اللي هي مال البريدج شلون شكله راح يكون. فاحنا افتر طبعا مثل ما نعرف وي هاف ان اوفيس كاد/كام ميل ماشين ولاب ان كاد/كام ماشين. فاذا كان ان اوفيس معناها انت ما تحتاج تسوي temporary. You have directly milled the final restoration. After 1 hour you cement the restoration. لكن اكو طبعا احيانا كيسات نحتاج to re-evaluate for full mouth rehabilitation لازم نسويها temporary. فكيف نسوي temporary؟ بهيجي حالة يا اما نسوي طريقتين scanning of the teeth، يا اما نسوي scanning of the teeth directly inside the patient mouth، او we take impression and we send the cast to the lab راح يسوي scanning لل prepared teeth من خلال السكانر scanning of the cast. فصار عندنا شنو internal surface detail موجودة عندنا. الاكسترنال surface detail اللي هي شنو for the restoration ممكن نطلعها منين؟ يا اما نسوي waxing على الكاست وايضا نسوي له سكانينج. اوكي اوكي، او احنا نصمم vitreal shape proposed generated by a computer، احنا نصمم شكل restoration من خلال الكمبيوتر. اوكي، فعندنا هاي الطريقتين اللي ممكن نسويها لتصميم فصار عندنا داتا اوف الداتا مال الانترنال سيرفيس تكتشر موجوده from the scanning of the cast or prepared teeth on the cast or inside the patient mouth, والدات of the external surface detail of the restoration, as we say, either from the wax pattern نسوي له scanning أو vitreal shape proposal generated by the computer. This data sent to the milling machine تخليه بلوك ويعطينا الكاد كام provisional restoration اللي هو mostly as we say polymethyl acrylate methacrylate. ممكن اكو طبعا لما نقارنه مع الكومبوزيت والاكريليك والكومبوزيت هو الديورابيلتي مالته افضل من الدول كيور او المانيوال ميثود. For cementation of provisional estimation, the ideal property of the cement ability to seal against leakage. Strength consists with intentional removal, low solubility, chemical compatible to provisional polymer, ease of eliminating excess, adequate working time and short setting time. طبعا احنا السمنت نستعمله مع provisional restoration ما نحتاج سمنت قوي لان احنا نخليه ببالنا we should remove later on this restoration. فاذا نستعمل في السمنت نقدر نفصل restoration بالزيارة القادمة للمريض بسهولة حتى نقدر نكمل شغلنا. ومع ذلك ما نستخدم السمنت قوي بحيث يسوي لنا مشكلة بفصل البريدج. السمنت we use in provisional restoration we have zinc oxide eugenol, reinforced zinc oxide eugenol and non-eugenol cement. Non-eugenol cement mostly we use it with resin material حتى ما يسوي لنا لأن interfere with the setting or interfere with the it is not biocompatible with the acrylic or composite. لذلك نستعمل non-eugenol cement. الeugenol cement نستعمله مع الميتال crown restoration. The other type of cement is, as we say, zinc phosphate, glass ionomer, polycarboxylate is not used because they are provide high strength that make intentional removal difficult. Okay. وبهذا نكون انهينا اخر شيء طبعا بس هذا sorry limitation on professional restoration, lack of adequate strength fracture of provisional is possible in long span, especially if the patient have paroxysm and reduced interocclusal clearance. Secondly, inadequate marginal adaptation, poor aesthetic in long-term provisional restoration, plaque accumulation due to poor surface characteristic, compromised bonding characteristic, and mild to moderate tissue retention. وبهذا نكون احنا خلصنا المحاضرة. شاكر لكم إصغائكم وأملا أنه الجميع استفادوا من هذه المحاضرة. شكرا.